Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we're underway. T-minus a couple of hours, and of course, let's add 15 to that because the Chicago Bears will exercise every single minute before they select Caleb Williams, who's dressed to the nines, right? Apparently it includes nail polish. And, hey, I mean, it's 2024. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wearing nail polish. Trying to think, the only athlete I can ever really comes to mind who's ever worn it is a catcher, right? And try to identify how many fingers you're laying down so the pitcher can see whether it's a fastball, whether it's a slider, maybe a dancing bear or what have you. But he's got his own style. Javel, you don't have to worry about that. I think there's a lot of teams around the NFL right now saying, are you kidding me? We're going to invest our future in a guy who paints his nails and a guy who cries to his mama after losing. Does that identify, does that specify what a winning quarterback is supposed to be? Let me tell you something. Chicago's a great town. I think they're a very passionate town. Bears are number one. Is it a tough town? Well, I spent 7 years there. I would say to some extent, yes. It's nowhere in the realm of Boston, New York, and Philadelphia. It's not even in the same stratosphere. I mean, it's not even close. But anyway, we'll see. Unless something incredible happens here, an offer that would be just absolutely enormous over the next couple of minutes, expect that to take place. Matter of fact, I think chalk is going to happen early on. I think we're going to see 3 straight quarterbacks go, very similar to 2021. Right? Remember that year when Trevor was first here for the Jags, and then the things that fell apart after with Zach Wilson and Trey Lance. And, that appears to be what is going to happen tonight with Williams and then Daniels. There was all that talk about McCarthy going to Washington, what was it, a month ago, 6 weeks ago. Jaden Daniels, who I voted for to win the Heisman Trophy this year. I honestly think he is going to be, for what it's worth, the best prospect out of any one of these QBs who gets selected tonight or any other time throughout the NFL draft process. I just think Jaden Daniels is going to be that guy at 6'4", 210 pounds, and obviously he can throw the ball. He had unbelievable weapons while at LSU. And you could say, well, they lost a lot of games. Really his fault, right? It was the defense that couldn't get it done. But anyway, Drake May at third, the third pick overall. And then it becomes so intriguing. What is going to happen beginning with Arizona? It really feels like they are in the catbird position. It's almost as if, let's be honest, the draft will start tonight around 8:40 or so, 8:35, 8:40, whenever it is that that fourth pick is actually made, and I'm assuming that some will get taken before the total allotted time does go through. Maybe wrong. I mean, we've seen crazier things, but nonetheless, Arizona, an opportunity now to really make some moves. Yes, they love Marvin Harrison Jr., but there's a feeling that they could move down a couple of spots and, end up getting whoever it may be that they covet. The Giants are talking about moving up. The Broncos have talked about moving up. The Raiders want to move up. The Minnesota Vikings want to move up. They all want to get a quarterback. And if they believe that it's still a position that they can go up just a couple of spots to grab a guy at number 4, and, what would have to happen in order for that to take place? Is that going to be a move all the way up there to get Drake May? Well, if Drake May goes number 3 to New England, probably not. New England has fielded a lot of calls today. At least that's what the people are telling us. So if it is the top 3 quarterbacks, would that all of a sudden make Arizona as still attractive as anyone else. I don't know at this point. I mean, the J.J. McCarthy situation is intriguing, but again, it felt early on like the club that had the most interest in him was in Washington, D.C., and now most believe that, in fact, that is not going to be the case there with McCarthy. Instead, again, they're going to go to Jaden Daniels. So it does feel like the draft begins with Arizona. If they stand put, they get Marvin Harrison Jr. All it takes is one team to believe that they can get a quarterback. Could we see 4 straight QBs tonight selected 4 in a row? I think it would be not earth-shattering, but I think it's something you have to really expect at this particular time. I think organizations, year in, year out, get desperate, and they want to be able to find the quarterback who is going to lead them to the promised land. And Arizona's got a QB, right? And whether you're happy or disappointed with Kyler Murray, they got a ton of money invested in him. So they could drop a couple of spots here, allow a team to move up, snatch a guy like J.J. McCarthy, or he would be the guy, J.J. McCarthy, and then all of a sudden, Arizona could fall down a couple of spots and possibly still get Marvin Harrison Jr. We shall see. You know, a similar situation needs to be said at number 5, where the Chargers are. They have a quarterback. Those same teams, particularly Denver, Las Vegas, and Minnesota, talking about moving up to get a QB. So it's really 4 and 5 where I think you could forecast possible movement. And, you know, the over-under tonight is anywhere from 5.5 to 6.5 trades that are expected to happen during the first round. Man, it's such a risk. It really is. And, you know, I'm going to slide my attention over to Trent Baalke. And tonight it's on the Sergeant. It is on Sergeant Baalke tonight to make the moves. And I am cautiously optimistic here. But at least for the time being, you don't have to worry about that. And my conversation with Tom McManus last night, I thought was really intriguing with the way that he said, do you really want to start all over again? And this talk of a contract extension, this talk of getting it done now as opposed to later. My camp and what I've always believed is why wait? Or excuse me, absolutely wait. Wait that 4th year. He hasn't earned it yet. It's not all his fault. I want to go through the litany of reasons why it hasn't been working, at least to the success that most of us believed. I still think it is going to happen. But let him go out there and play this year for $11.7 million. Can you imagine if Jacksonville's back again looking for a QB? Just how scary that is. I mean, J.J. McCarthy, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Michael Penix, Bo Nix. You know, that's to me, that's more fearsome than it is joyous. I just don't know if any one of those QBs really is going to have what it takes to be a quote-unquote franchise guy. I happen to remain very high, as I did say, on Jaden Daniels, so I'll let it sit with that. But let's get to Baalke. A lot of pressure on him coming up. And, hey, for what it's worth, Mel Kiper today said Penix would not slide past number 13. That is wonderful news for Jaguar fans. If you can have a 5th quarterback in the top 13 spots selected, what does that mean? Another position player who will be available for the Jaguars coming up at number 17. And, you know, tonight's draft is supposed to be just incredibly loaded with offensive players. This is going to be a record-setting draft, right? There are going to be 5 quarterbacks selected tonight. And you can go to Vegas. You can go anywhere. You can go to a pool hall if you want, or, you know, I don't know which port you go to or what side of town or docks that you visit every once in a while if you want to lay a couple of C notes down. But it's 4.5. If you're getting at 5, you got robbed. 4.5 had been forever quarterbacks in the first round. It's easy money. It's a shoo-in. It's a guarantee. It's just like what I told you last year. The Jaguars will win the AFC South. Oh, good thing I don't bet. But 5 quarterbacks, okay? You're going to get that tonight. You could have a 6th. If Bo Nix gets selected or Michael Penix Jr. gets selected, that's 6 quarterbacks who are going to go tonight. You're going to have at least 5 wide receivers. Some mocks have a 6th or a 7th wide receiver going in the first round. You're going to have at least 10 offensive linemen selected tonight. There have been 3 times in the history of the NFL draft where the offense has had 19 first-round selections out of the 32 picks, the last being in 2009. That is expected to get broken tonight. And what's interesting about this, a running back is not going to go in the first round. You had 2 running backs who went in the first round a year ago. Many believe Trey Benson out of Florida State is going to be the first running back selected, but that is not going to happen until round number 2. So, a very heavy offensive draft, which gets us to the Jaguars at number 17. Before I really begin to roll into Trent Baalke, let me tell you, Jay Smooth's going to join us in 20 minutes. We're going to talk with Jimmy Smith about the draft tonight. I also have that JJ just put together. It's wonderful. We've put together a little scenario of what you as Jaguar fans, what would you want most if you could pick one of these 4 possibilities in tonight and tomorrow night's draft combined, okay? I mean, yes, we have pulled out all the stops for this particular show. And you can get it. Just go to 1010XL 92.5 on Twitter. Here are the options. The combination of Thomas and Jenkins, right? Brian Thomas Jr., the wide receiver, or Chris Jenkins, the defensive tackle out of Michigan. Again, this is tonight and tomorrow night. What is a best-case scenario for you as a Jaguars fan? That is option number 1. Option number 2, Terrian Arnold, Adonai Mitchell, okay, going corner, wide receiver. Option number 3, Quinion Mitchell, Keon Coleman. Getting the corner that has been very coveted and very talked about out of everyone on this list. He's the guy I know the least amount about because he played at Toledo. Obviously, Keon Coleman, I know a whole heck of a lot about. You could get him, or forget about the draft picks. You just somehow end up with T. Higgins, who is unhappy, who wants a trade, and is he going to get moved tonight, along with a lot of other significant possible opportunities for already very good football players who are out there, whether it's Patrick Surtain, whether it is Deebo Samuel, whether it is Brandon Ayuk. I elected T. Higgins. So, again, if you want to check it out, and right now we just threw it out there a couple of minutes ago. We already have 70 votes. Thomas and Jenkins, Arnold and Mitchell. That's what that is, the wide receiver Mitchell. We have as well Quinion Mitchell, the defensive back, Keon Coleman, and T. Higgins. So, again, 4 opportunities. Have a little bit of fun tonight. Tell us what you like, dislike, and as well, you can always comment on that on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. That number is 641-1010. All right, to Baalke. Todd McShay, who's, no longer with ESPN, and I really respect Todd in his work. I go way back with him when he was worked with Gary Horton and the Hour Lads and those folks. Not Hour Lads, but the War Room, which has now fallen way under, and it did so about a decade ago. But they were a part of the Sporting News, if you remember that particular War Room, way back when. And I thought they were very good at what they did. But Todd McShay says that right now the Jaguars and the Colts are exploring opportunities to move up to get Brock Bowers. Okay, let's be honest about this. For starters, I love the language. I love the report. I love the drop, whether it's planted or not, because what I hope is if Indianapolis has to move up, it's going to cost them that much more. Why not put Jacksonville right there next to Indianapolis? For you diehard Jag fans, it feels like for the last several months, whenever you really get excited about a possibility of a player coming to Jacksonville, it feels like Indy, 2 spots ahead of Jacksonville, is in a position to snatch up the guy you really want. And there are similar needs in Indianapolis, including a DB as well as a wide receiver. I don't believe Jacksonville is going to move up to get Brock Bowers for several reasons. Number one, what does that do to the Baalke ego? What does that do to his second-round selection a year ago with Brenton Strange? It's just just flat out admitting, hey, we got this one wrong. How about a mulligan, right? What are some of the greatest mulligans in the history of sports? Well, certainly the Gators in 1996 when they lost in late November, and that game it didn't count, for Christ's sakes. Let's have a rematch in the Sugar Bowl. Maybe you can give me a couple of other mulligans. Feel free, 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. But do you think that that's what's going to happen here tonight? That Trent Baalke's going to say, I admit it, we made a mistake. We used a second-round pick, a fringe pick on Brenton Strange, and it backfired on us. We got nothing out of it. We're going to move up, which means it's going to cost you more to move up. And Baalke's done that. He moved up a couple of years ago to get Devin Lloyd, right? Some are not happy with that particular move. Who's yelling? Do we know? Who's yelling that's picking up in my headset? Is there anything we can do about that? So, are we going to have admittance to a mistake that was made by Baalke? I don't believe it. Deanna Rossini, who the last time we actually heard from her came out and told us that Doug Marrone was going to be fired, right? Remember the very next day, there had to be an address that came out. Jim Woodcock, the publicist for Shah Khan, had to come out and say, no. He's not going to be fired. That report was erroneous. Don't know how that information got out. Well, even if it did, it was wrong. That's okay. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. But we haven't heard from Diana Rossini in a very long period of time. Now, all of a sudden, she's got information that the Jags are going to move up to get a wide receiver. Okay? We've spoken on that since, forever, including when we met with Trent Baalke and when we met with Doug Peterson, a week ago today. My feeling out of that was they would not move up for a wide receiver. They could still move up for a defensive back, but not all the way up into the top 8, top 9, whatever it may be, to get a wide receiver. Still, she's got that report that's out there right now. For what it's worth, there are people who believe there could be as many as 18 wide receivers selected this year in the first 85 overall picks. Think of that. What does it mean? It is a very rich position. It is a tremendously talented position, once again, coming out of the college game. The only problem for Jacksonville is they screwed it up a couple of years ago with LaVista Chenault. I mean, that was another very rich wide receiver class, and they didn't get it done that year. Obviously, they made a mistake. That entire draft was a mistake. When you look at C.J. Henderson, Caleb Von Chason, LaVista Chenault, Ben Barch, yada, 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 it was really, really bad. But let's analyze what's going on here tonight now for Trent Baalke. Okay, he's actually done a very good job, historically speaking, in his very short tenure in Jacksonville. First-round pick, Anton Harrison. That was an A. First-round pick, Trayvon Walker. I think people are scared to give it an A. I think they're scared. He's getting better. He got better as the season went along, and I think his best football is ahead. Devin Lloyd, okay, that's a six-pack argument, maybe even 8 or 9 beers. He made more plays, but it's nowhere near the production that was expected. Agree? Especially after the trade-up. Trevor Lawrence, we talk about it every night. Travis Etienne, yeah. Travis Etienne, to me, has been an A. Used too much. Right? I mean, they have until May 2nd to pick up that fifth-year option, but I think I never would have drafted him there, but that's not the conversation. It's how would you grade him? Giving him an A. I think Travis Etienne has worked. Second-round picks, Brenton Strange, that's an F. Okay, that could change as early as year 2. And remember, we only have 1 year to grade that. Right now, it's an F. He did absolutely nothing. And for what it's worth, I think he's going to play better football. I do. I think that is the case. They didn't have a second round in 2022. Remember, they made the move to get up to Devin Lloyd. Second round pick in 2021, right? Tyson Campbell. Really good pick. He was injured last year. And look where he was 8 games in. He looked like a colossal bust. Totally turned it around. Had a very good year in 2022. That's their next biggest decision after Trevor, which isn't a decision. It's about money. What are they going to do with Tyson Campbell? Walker Little, failure, okay? And I blame the organization. I blame the coaching staff there. They have absolutely abused that guy. okay? I mean, if there was ever a blueprint on how to not treat a second-round pick, I would show you Walker Little. They have screwed this thing up since day one. They just have. And again, that's what the Caldwell regime did, and that's what the Baalke regime is doing. Drafting guys and then asking them to play a position they're not familiar with. Why? Why do they do it? Draft a guy tonight who plays a position and then ask him to play that position at the NFL. Walker Little was a left tackle at Stanford. Yeah, he was injured. Oh, we need to make him a right tackle. Anton Harrison's a left tackle. We're going to play him right. Draft a guy and play him at that position. It's pretty simple. Yet this franchise just doesn't do it. It's amazing. Third-round picks, Tank Bigsby, F. Although I'm ahead of his camp. You go, Tank. There's only two things I can think of, right? Go girl and you go Tank. I see it right now. Bigsby to 4. Bigsby! Touchdown, Tank Bigsby! 73,000. Listen, I can just feel it right now. It's Bigsby's year. It's coming up. Third-round pick, Luke Fortner. Weak. Chad Muma. What a bust. Oh, my God. Can't even get on the field. Well, they're rich there, Ballou, Lelicon, Lloyd. They're rich. It was a bad pick. Third round in 2021, Andre Sisco. Very good football player. Quickly now, fourth round, Ventrell Miller. They gave him an IR. They just basically said, hey, listen, that's how we do it around here. You know, ETN came in, but it's going to let, he gets injured. He's out a year, so that's kind of the way we do it. Ventrell, take the year off. Keep in touch with us. Let us know, how everything is going, but just take the year off. Tyler Lacey. Who? Tyler Lacey. Okay. I think he's got a great opportunity if the light goes on. He also could be, J2 Fale, by camp, right? I mean, it could happen, or he could shine. They didn't have a fourth rounder in 2022. Their fourth rounder in 2021 was the aforementioned J2 Fale. All right, fifth round on. Yeah, we won't waste much more time on that. So, because most, you look at really the 4 rounds, and that's where you find most of your starters in this league. If you look at Jacksonville, they got one starter from a year ago in the top 4 rounds. They got, I guess you can say, 3 starters in 2022 in the first 4 rounds, although Luke Fortner now is gone, so that's down to 2. First 4 rounds of the best draft that this organization has possibly ever had makes so much sense with Lawrence, Etienne, Campbell, set aside Walker Little, Andre Sisco. I guess it only does become 4 because J2 Fale, as we said, was also selected in the 4th round. I forgot to mention a 4th-round pick, Jordan Smith, who never made this organization as well. Jordan Smith was also part of the Travis Etienne, Ventrell Miller. Hey, good to have you with us. Take a year off. Just come right in and sit out a year, get used to your surroundings, and then we'll end up cutting you once you show that you effectively cannot play. So where's the faith tonight? There's the history. And the 2021 one is suspect because I don't care who you are, right? I mean, Stevie Wonder could have selected Trevor Lawrence. And I believe that Travis Etienne was an Urban Meyer pick. I don't know that, but it's my belief. Despite it, I think he's drafted pretty good in the first round and with his higher picks. I think tonight, tomorrow night, he's going to double down and have a good draft. I believe that. I do. Am I on a little something? Well, that's your decision to make. Listening. I am just under the belief that they're going to make the right picks this year. I think they're stung by a year ago. I think they were incredibly arrogant with their draft selections a year ago. And it hurt them. Not to say that those guys won't respawn this year. You've got to find a player tonight. You've got to find a player tomorrow night that can play for the Jaguars this year. A significant role, a starter or a huge role this year. You can't draft fringe players. Opening comments brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Okay, there's a franchise team right there. They're head of my franchise, no doubt about it. Dr. Neil Shmunez, I've known forever. Okay, this is a guy who has more than 37 years worth of experience. Dr. Catherine Shmunez, fellowship-trained cornea cataract surgery, all refractive surgery. They have so much trust in one another. They've done surgery to one another in the office over at Shmunez Vision, right? I mean, that should say something. As well, check him out online. Just go to Shmunez Vision on Instagram, which is really hip, and that includes some outstanding testimonials. Laser eye surgery is something that I can't even imagine how cool it would be. I wish I was a candidate. I'm not, because I had surgery on my eye performed by Dr. Neil Shmunez, but it's very affordable. And laser eye surgery, just imagine the rest of your life never having to worry about not seeing something or fatigue in your eyes or replacing your contacts or looking for your glasses. It would just be 20/20 vision for the rest of your days. Check them out. Go to Shmunez Vision. That is Shmunez Vision Care. You can see. All right, we got an awful lot to do tonight. It's going to be a blast here. We'll take you right up until 8 o'clock and the NFL draft. But let's keep things moving. On the other side, let's talk with the great Jimmy Smith, who goes into the night with Rick Ballou.
This is Greg Huntington, one of the original Jaguars, a.k.a. the Mango.
And the Jaguars are going to the playoffs!
On 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Imagine driving a late model Corvette, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Honda, Chevy, Ford, and more, all at a fraction of the original sticker price. Visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom and browse a great selection of dream cars that are inspected with warranties. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Man, it is a beautiful day to fish.
Here's your life jacket.
You know I can swim, right?
So could a lot of people who died falling overboard.
Come on, I'm not a kid.
Fatalities are often men over 30.
It's too hot to wear one.
These new ones are
There, happy? Ooh, I got one!
Glad you wore the life jacket?
Okay, yes.
Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission reminds you to wear your life jacket. Visit wearitflorida.com. Wear it, Florida.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today, or log on to bariorthopedics.com.
Find out more at bariorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
Life isn't the same without live music. Players Grill Mandarin has Samuel Sanders performing covers and original music this Saturday at 8 p.m. Jam out with this local singer-songwriter while enjoying tasty food everyone can enjoy. Players Grill Mandarin, where the neighborhood
The
meets.
All-Pro Roofing phone line connects you to some of the most sports-connected minds in the country.
You mean you can actually contact these people?
Listen for great phone interviews all day on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
We'll talk on the phone.
On 1010XL.
When you get nachos, tacos, empanadas, spicy queso with jalapenos, Pepto-Bismol's there. Pepto-Bismol provides fast, effective relief from nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. All the things that can happen unexpectedly on vacation. So before you travel, pack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Bueller Air Conditioning presents Are You Cool? Today's challenger, a corporate management manager from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Les Blankston.
Hi, Bob.
That is a remarkably beige suit there, Les. Tell us, why are you on the show?
Well, I just replaced my old air conditioner with a new one from Bueller, and I'm just so comfortable these days. I wondered, am I cool now?
Let's find out, Les. Go ahead and spin the wheel. That's right, Les. By upgrading your old AC to a more energy-efficient model from Bueller Air Conditioning, you'll save money, save energy, and proudly show your family that you are cool.
Ooh, do you think I should get a mohawk?
Pace yourself, Les.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loans, and personal loans. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. So call now, 904-999-1508, 904-999-1508, or go to loanpronto.com. NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. Look, we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino canceled because real life came calling. Well, MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. I love the live casino. The roulette is awesome. It's so easy and so much fun. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action is in your hands. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL, and a revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. So sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win. Only with MyBookie.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Splish, splash, I'm taking up.
Everything okay in here?
Oh, yeah, sure is.
You're wearing a life jacket.
Sure am.
In the tub?
Practicing for when we head to the lake. I read about wearing one at wearitflorida.com.
And wearitflorida.com told you to wear it in the tub?
Nope, that was my idea. You know, Florida is the leader in boating fatalities, so a life jacket can save lives.
As you were.
Splish, splash, I was taking a
Learn more at wearitflorida.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, a lot of good stuff coming in on the text line, as I would expect. 641-1010, if you'd like to get on in our text line. We're trying to track down Jimmy Smith. Once we make that happen, we will certainly put him on the airwaves and find out what the greatest wide receiver to ever play the game here in Duval, and arguably the greatest player, period, to ever play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. What are they going to do tonight? I got to believe he's going to go with a wide receiver just because that's his position. I mean, we had Aaron Beasley in here a couple of nights ago. Aaron Beasley was like, hey, you got to draft the best overall DB available. He actually said Nate Wiggins, right? And that incredible, 4.29 speed. I happen to think if they do draft one tonight, Mitchell is the guy that they would love, Quinion Mitchell. There's been a lot of talk about Terry and Arnold. There's been some talk, about possibly falling into the second round. I think you go corner first and you go wide receiver in the second round simply because there's more available wide receivers. And as I said at the top, there could be as many as 18 or so out of the top 85 players selected in this year's draft as a wide receiver. I mean, it's a much better offensive class than it is a defensive class. And that's going to be the case again in the first round. We're expecting record-setting numbers to actually happen tonight, and that includes what we gather will not include a running back. Let's get to Trent Baalke. He was asked about wide receivers when we met with him last week, and the Jaguars general manager had this to say.
I think it's a very good group of receivers, obviously. I think those three that everybody's talking about are really good football players. I think there's some guys in that next wave that are really good football players too. And I think there's good players all the way through the draft at that position. There's going to be some later round guys that make a mark for themselves at some point in their careers in this league as well. So it's a good group. There's a lot of variations of guys strictly in the slot, guys strictly out on the perimeter. There are some guys that can move around the formations a little bit more. So it's a good group of receivers.
Which one do you think they'll pick based on recent history, right? I mean, that's a valid question. The assumption would be a guy who can move all around, right? Now, this organization is pretty hell-bent on drafting a guy who's never played a position and making him play that position. But, hey, they know much more than I do, admittedly so. Let me throw this to you. If they go for it tonight, thumbs up. I mean, honestly, thumbs up. I rolled out of there last Thursday convinced there's no way they're moving into the top 10 to get Malik Neighbors, to get a Dunze. There's reports now that are continuously growing as we move minute to minute to the top of the NFL draft, which is going to begin at 8 o'clock. And it's just great for starters to have Jacksonville relevant and not relevant with the top pick, okay? You can't help but be relevant when you have the top pick 2 years in a row, like they did in 2021 and 2022. Everyone's talking about Jacksonville during those 2 years, kind of like everyone right now is talking about the Chicago Bears because they select number one coming up here in an hour and 20 minutes. But isn't it great to have Duval in the game, in the conversation? You know, what are they going to do? Are they going to move up? My opinion, stay. Stay where you are. Get a good football player at 17. Tomorrow night, get a good football player at number 48. However, if they are convinced that either one of these two wide receivers, they're not going to get Marvin Harrison Jr., right? I just think that he's top 5, even if Arizona trades, even if LA, regardless of what happens there. If someone trades up to get a quarterback, if it does go 1, 2, 3, you know, as we expect with Williams and Daniels and May, and then Arizona and or Los Angeles gets a great offer from the Giants or Denver or Las Vegas or whoever will get a quarterback, I still think Harrison Jr.'s gone, and that's the asking price is too much. But if you start to get down around 9 or 10, it's still going to be a lot. And I don't have the table in front of me. I looked at the table before. I'm just not I don't know what it is, that whole draft table, you know what, invented by Jimmy Johnson. And there were draft tables prior to that of scenarios, but I guess the Jimmy Johnson one actually made it the perfect science, if you will. You got to give credit to this franchise if this is what they are going to try to do. So I know some of you want it, right? You're convinced. Get one of those two. That is a game-breaking wide receiver. You know, can we just for once, and I was going to ask Jimmy Smith this, if we're able to get him on the horn, trends are fair to an extent. The Trent Baalke trends are fair based on his 3 years as a general manager. We just went over it a couple of minutes ago. But the almost 30 years worth of the Jaguars franchise trend of having no clue, zero clue, okay, on how to draft a wide receiver should not apply tonight. And if it does, then you're wrong, okay? You're way out of bounds. If any one of you, anywhere, is saying, oh my gosh, they can't draft a wide receiver, they drafted R.J. Soward. They drafted Matt Jones. They drafted Williams. They drafted Justin. No. Okay? That is so far away. It's the same thing where, set aside Fred Taylor, people say, oh, my God, are they going to draft another kid out of Florida? I think the Jags, the most players they've ever had out of one school is the University of Florida. I want to say it's like 13. Again, the Jaguars do a really good job with their yearly press release on the draft. They do a good job over there anyway, but they do a really good job here with this draft release. Yeah, the Gators, the Jaguars have drafted 13 Gators. It's more than any school. Then it's USC with 8, Florida State 6, and then a bunch of schools at 5, including Notre Dame, LSU, Georgia, Arkansas, and Auburn. But again, there are some small-minded people who will say, oh, you can't draft a guy from Georgia. You can't draft a guy from Florida. I mean, for crying out loud, they drafted Taven Bryan from Florida. They drafted Reggie Nelson from Florida. They drafted, Derek Harvey from Florida. No, stop it. Everyone's different. Those trends don't apply. Now, if you want to go to Trent Baalke and say he hasn't drafted a wide receiver in the 3 years that he's been in this organization, not named Parker Washington in the 6th round last year, didn't draft a wide receiver in 2022, and didn't draft a wide receiver until the 6th round in 2021 with the name of Jalen Camp, that's fine. That's a trend there that absolutely can be applied. It doesn't feel like, historically speaking, and I don't want to contradict myself. I don't want to be a hypocrite, but it kind of feeds into my argument. He's never been a big fan of drafting wide receivers. He didn't do that as well in San Francisco. But again, that is being somewhat of a hypocrite. Some of these, traps that you get set towards, I think are really unfair, and that would be a couple of examples of them. Back to Baalke, we've got a Baalke defender, and I love Baalke defenders. If you come in as a Baalke defender, I'm going to read it on the text line. 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. 7646 says, Ballou, you can't grade a guy on just the first year, especially a tight end, one of the hardest positions on the team to play in the NFL. You're exactly right, 7646. That's why whenever I do anything about this, I'm quick to say it could work in year 2. And most prominently, I say that about Tank. But whenever I talk about Strange, Tank, Ventrell Miller, or Tyler Lacey, I automatically say could happen this year. My point, you can't do that with your top picks this year. You can't redshirt them. There are holes. Last year was a different feeling. They dominated late in the year. They came from behind, including the playoff game against Los Angeles. They were ahead of the curve. The expectations grew. And for the most part, they walked it back. They didn't add a lot, and I get it. They didn't have money, but they had plenty of draft capital, and they missed based on the first year. And Baalke was asked about it, and not recently, but I want to say around the Combine. And he said it's rare to find a lot of starters in the rookie draft. And, of course, there was a couple of examples this year that would go against that point, including what we saw with Detroit's rookie draft class. What I'm trying to get at is for the 2024 season, you can't have production from your second-rounder Brenton Strange like you had last year, or your third-rounder Tank Bigsby like you had last year, or your fourth-rounders Miller or Lacey like you had last year. If that's the case, this team's not going to get any better. It has to get better. You've got to be able to find a couple of these guys who can come right in and play. That's why, I think there's really 5 positions of enormous need within this organization. And it feels like tonight it's all about corner and wide receiver. And I get it. I understand it. You can never have enough offensive linemen. Okay? Listen to Tommy McManus, who joined me last night. I mean, you can never have enough offensive linemen. Where's your Where's your respect right now on what this organization has done recently with offensive linemen? Well, again, should be an A+ with Anton Harrison. Asking him to play a position he's not familiar with. Cooper Hodges, same boat as Tyler Lacey. Excuse me, same boat as Ventrell Miller. A lot of people believe that Cooper Hodges is your future at right guard. Boy, I hope so. But he's a 7th-round pick who didn't play, who was injured. I mean, that's wishful thinking, right? Luke Fortner, 3rd round 2 years ago? What else? Walker Little, 2nd round, 2021? So there are your 4 wide receivers. One is weak and can't play, Luke Fortner. The other has been absolutely screwed around in this organization, perhaps as bad as any football player I've ever seen by the Jaguars and Walker Little. They've just treated him awfully. And, again, hope is being held out on Cooper Hodges. And Anton Harrison's he's an A. He's an A or A+. So that's fair. But offensive line, yes. Defensive line. We keep hearing about a pass rusher. And they addressed defensive line last year. They did it with Tyler Lacey. They tried to make it work there. And, again, I think he's got a real opportunity. They tried to address it a couple of years ago with Jay Tufele, and it failed. I think they're going with an offensive lineman real high in this draft class. I would think in the top 3 rounds that is going to happen. Even though they made the addition of going out and getting Armstead. There just appears to be, too many guys that just give you spot duty. And, Gotsis and Ledbetter, Jeremiah Ledbetter, kind of snap count guys. They're going to give you 10, 12, 15 a game. There's room for an upgrade there. So I think those are the positions that we would look at most when it's all said and done as to what we believe the Jags are going to do tonight. How's our poll looking over there, JJ? We actually have a question of the night, the into the night question, 4 different scenarios for our listeners that they can get to by going on Twitter at 1010XL.
Yeah, which scenario lines up best in your opinion for the Jags by the end of tomorrow night? T. Higgins is in the lead, very close though. Second is Arnold/A. Mitchell.
Have you voted yet?
I put the poll out. I don't think it lets you vote.
Are you like one of those that's like, let's not drink the profits? It's like, owning a bar and you don't drink in the bar because that would be the problem. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't get high on your own supply.
Oh, I mean, we'll go. Look at Detroit, for crying out loud. I mean, I want to move to Detroit. It looks like it's 85 degrees out there.
That's a statement that hasn't been said in a long time.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but man, that is outstanding.
I like that they put the draft on the road.
I do too.
Like at first, I was like, okay, they're having it outside in Cleveland. Like, who cares? Like, just have it in Vegas every year. But the people have shown out. And what did they have in Nashville?
Yep.
Cleveland, Vegas, and now Detroit. And I'm surprised by the turnout to just go watch. You're really watching nothing.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that sooner or later the downtown's going to get built. So I'm going to say by the year 2050, yes, the NFL draft will be here in Jacksonville.
Will Baalke still be the general manager?
How's 2050? Okay, will you take the over or under on that year?
Yeah, I'd probably take the over. I don't know if the draft's ever coming to Jax.
1 hour and 10 minutes away from the National Football League draft. This is what dreams are made of. More talk on J.J. McCarthy. All of a sudden, it feels like he's the wild card here, right? Williams, Daniels, May, 1, 2, 3. Is Arizona going to move that pick to a team that wants to get on up there and get J.J. McCarthy? All right, the poll is there. Again, you can get it on Twitter. And please comment if you want, but vote. What would your feelings be if Jacksonville had to give up a lot, but did make that move into the top 10 tonight to get one of those wide receivers? Okay? I wouldn't advise it. I would stay. but it feels like those, it feels like those feelings right now are somewhat legitimate. I did not buy this a week ago. I didn't. I left the presser convinced that if they move up, it would only be a few spots to get a DB. And I also left the presser a week ago convinced that the Trevor Lawrence contract was going to get done before the beginning of the season. Those are my two main takeaways from the presser. Here we are next to it, and it feels like it is building a little bit. I'm moving into the top 10 to get a wide receiver. So give me your comments on that as well. Again, always the best way to get on in is our text line. That is 641-1010. That is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also get us on Twitter, Ballou1010XL.
Your home for Florida Gators baseball is 1010XL.
The Gators get a chance to gain momentum in the weekend series against second-ranked Arkansas. Friday night, Saturday and Sunday afternoon on 1010 AM.
Discover luxury on your terms at Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville and drive away today in style.
Boasting North Florida's largest selection of Cadillacs, we have your dream car waiting.
Immerse yourself in the unparalleled power and the elegance of the all-new Cadillac Escalade V.
Or experience the future with the Cadillac Lyriq, redefining luxury electric vehicles.
Thanks to our exclusive offers, the luxury of the Cadillac is more attainable than ever.
And rest assured, every Cadillac is backed by our dedication to outstanding customer service.
Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville. Tell them Jennifer sent you.
You know, they say April showers bring May flowers, but about Nye, they're bringing more than just blooms this April. Hickin' here, gang. It's time to spring into action and refresh your vision for the brighter days ahead. Don't let cloudy vision rain on your parade. From dry eyes and allergies causing irritation to cataracts blurring your vision, Bowden Eye can help protect what's important to you. If you're experiencing problems with your vision, call or visit BowdenEye.com to schedule your consultation. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
Splish, splash, I'm taking up.
Everything okay in here?
Oh, yeah, sure is.
You're wearing a life jacket.
Sure am.
In the tub?
Practicing for when we head to the lake. I read about wearing one at wearitflorida.com.
And wearitflorida.com told you to wear it in the tub?
No, that was my idea. You know, Florida is the leader in boating fatalities, so a life jacket can save lives.
As you were.
Splish, splash, I was taking a
Learn
bath.
more at wearitflorida.com.
Hey, did you hear what Mr. Chubby's is doing for the draft Thursday?
Yep, happy hour all day until 9 p.m. on draft day. They have the best prices. Count me in.
And not just happy hour until 9 p.m., but if you guess the correct draft pick, you can enter your name in the raffle for a chance to win 4 tickets to a preseason game.
Let's chub it up on draft day. Go Jags!
Proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On April 25th in the 2009 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions selected Georgia quarterback Matthew Stafford as the first overall pick.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
Friday on The Frangie Show. Tune in for the House Call segment brought to you by Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Rehab. Join the discussion as a JOI expert tells you about total knee replacements. JOI, where the pros go.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Need to enhance your home's curb appeal? Stonecore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Replacing with new stone pavers will transform your driveway into a stunning work of art. Say goodbye to unsightly concrete and hello to beautiful, durable pavers that last for years. Visit StoneCore today and let's beautify your home together. StoneCore.co. We do outdoors better.
Test your aim to help local kids succeed. It's the 6th annual Mackenzie Noel Wilson Foundation Clay Shoot to support the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida and Mackenzie's Camp Deep Pond, Thursday, May 30th at Jack's Clay Target Sports. Get your team and the Boys and Girls Club take care of the rest. Ammo, cart, clays, breakfast bites, lunch, and goodies. Proceeds benefit 56 area clubs serving over 5,200 area kids every day. Go to bgcnf.org/events.
When you get nachos, tacos, empanadas, spicy queso with jalapenos, Pepto-Bismol's there. Pepto-Bismol provides fast, effective relief from nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. All the things that can happen unexpectedly on vacation. So before you travel, pack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Jacksonville, Florida. On Saturday, April 27th, All Elite Wrestling presents Collision. For the first time ever, live from Daly's Place. Get the feeling. Witness professional wrestling's biggest stars. Bring the fight on Saturday night.
I'm about to show them all what Elite really looks like, bruv.
AEW Collision, live from Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. Tickets on sale now at AEWTIX.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
So how about the Jaguars brain trust tonight? Shad Khan. Tony Khan, more on them in a moment. General Manager Trent Baalke and his pick and approach at number 17.
There's a lot, as you know, that goes into it. You know, we feel good about the group that's there, you know, at different positions, you know, that we're focused in on a little bit. But you don't know what's going to happen. You really aren't going to know what we're going to do until maybe the 12th or 13th pick. You know, and then we'll look at the opportunity to potentially move up, you know, and if we get to 16 like we did last year and somebody calls and there's a chance to move back one or two, you know, you just don't know. You're playing it on game day.
Sergeant Baalke owns the room, and I'm forecasting a big night, a big couple of nights, and I think it begins in an hour and some change. I'm expecting a great football player to be brought here to Jacksonville. Okay, there has been a developing scenario for the Jaguars brain trust and draft class, which begins tonight. Some of you may not have seen, but Tony Khan last night was severely injured in the ring. AEW, it was like a different form of a pile driver, which, you know, I've been in and out of wrestling. People get in and out of drugs, in and out of, women, cheating on women. I get in and out of wrestling. It's kind of always been like my male soap opera.
Your vice.
Right now I'm totally removed from it. I can't be any farther away from it. I just don't have the time. But he took on a Meltzer driver last night. Let me start by saying I didn't think Tony Khan could ever walk again. And he's been shown now with a brace on his neck. Shad Khan was there, walked into the ring, incredibly concerned. So analytically speaking tonight, this could have some sort of effect on what the Jaguars are going to do. And I know that all the reporters will be on scene tonight. They're live down at the Miller Electric Center. We'll do their very best to get us caught up with that. But
just feels bad, like dumb to hurt your employer like that.
Who would ever hit their boss?
I know, right? Well, I guess we've seen it happen with McMahon a lot. You know, he was blown up, allegedly. But, yeah, I love this. I always love when the owner of the company is part of the show.
You're so young, you don't even know what happened to me in 1998, do you?
Well, I'm sure a lot.
When it comes to hitting your boss.
I've heard, yeah.
But I'm just kidding. It never happened, nor would it ever happen. But I'm sure that 99.9% of our listening audience just wants.
Just pile drive them.
Would love
straight into the canvas.
to be able to give a Meltzer driver to your boss and just leave them sprawled right in the middle of the hallway, like on a Friday afternoon.
Everybody walks past.
And just head out. So,
see you Monday, boss.
With that said,
yes,
we may have a little something for you from the AEW, but that's coming up next hour. We're going to make you wait. We're going to radio tease that for another hour. But in the meantime, we certainly wish our very best and a speedy recovery to the entire Khan family,
yes.
including Tony Khan.
Thoughts and prayers.
All jokes aside, Tony Khan's a really good dude. He is. He is. And the longest conversations I ever had with Tony Khan was staying in the Grove in London. And this was when we were there for a week. We flew from Cincinnati. There was a Gus Bradley-led Jags and the team plane. We ate in that famous place in Cincinnati, that place up on the hill.
Skyline Chili?
I think that was it. Gosh, I can't remember. But we flew from Cincy to London, and we didn't stay in our normal spot in London until like the day before or 2 days before the game, which is right across the street from Wembley. We stayed in a place called the Grove, and the only way I could describe it to you is kind of like imagine Lake Ness.
Loch Ness?
Loch Ness Monster, okay? And
sounds beautiful.
I was there for a week. I didn't see the sun once, okay?
Yep. That's par for the course.
It was dark. It was gray. And that was that. It was a week spent in London. But Tony Khan and me just talking to him about everything under the sun.
Yeah, he comes on 1010 every once in a while. He's a good guest. Someone says Tony Khan should announce the pick for round 2 tomorrow in a neck brace, arm in a sling, black eyes, rolled up to the podium in a wheelchair by his dad. Hilarious.
Unbelievable.
The Montgomery Inn is the place in Cincinnati, someone saying.
Okay.
Skyline Chili is a fast food restaurant, so I don't know if Tony Khan went there.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember. Because I'm not a foodie. You know, like, and I would go out with those guys, like Loggeman will tell you, he'll tell you about a place in New York, and he'll even bring up a steakhouse here in town. I'm not going to plug it because they don't spend money on a radio station, and I'm a team guy. But Loggeman's a legitimate foodie who can, like, tell the difference between a great piece of meat, a great steak. Like,
he's not going to Longhorn Steakhouse, folks.
You know what? I think Longhorn Steakhouse makes a hell of a steak.
Do they? I have never even been there.
I've never been disappointed.
I love that.
And that's kind of my point. I mean, whenever you go to India, you go to St. Elmo's.
Yeah.
And the shrimp cocktail's amazing. But
looks massive.
Whether I'm paying $125 for a steak or $25 for a steak, I honestly cannot really tell the difference.
I love that.
And
the Montgomery Inn has to have been where you guys went. This looks classy and like it is on a hill. It's a steakhouse. It's like it has like big glass windows overlooking the river.
Okay.
Looks sick.
Okay. Oh, this is the best text of the day.
Longhorn is effing awesome.
3804 says, JJ is such a hater.
Yeah.
Draft is coming to town before 2030. Book it. Well, it was actually me. It was Ballou who said 2050.
Now, 2050, if he would have said that, I don't really have an argument against that. But 2030, bro.
No way.
No way that's happening.
It's not gonna happen. No.
We looked it up. Next year's already been selected. It's actually at Lambeau, which I think this will be the first draft at a stadium. But, yeah, the NFL hates Jacksonville. That's not happening.
Do you own a shovel? I don't. If I need anything done around my house, I hire. Do you have a shovel?
I have an apartment, so no, I
was going to say, we need a shovel because we need to create a bit. We need to go out there and just put a shovel in the dirt somewhere downtown. All right?
And, like, take a picture, have a hard hat on.
Just try to get the spirit up that something is actually going to happen in our lifetime downtown. Hell,
a ribbon ceremony.
I get paid Tuesday. I'm going to go buy a shovel. I know I bet you the guys over at the Miller Electric Center, I bet you they could provide us with a couple of hard hats over at Miller Electric. We're going to do that. Let's go down there, and that's it. Just one shovel. As a matter of fact, I need 2 shovels. One for you, one for me, 2 hard hats.
And just like stadium renovation has begun.
Just stick a shovel in there and tell the people, for crying out loud, someday it'll come. Someday you will finally have a downtown. We're going to do that. Trust us. That is going to happen. All right, much more to do up until 8 o'clock. Rick, can you talk about Florida State? Absolutely. I can talk about, I can talk about Florida as well, right? Ricky Pearsall. That's it. Florida State coming up. But that was Florida State last year, right? Didn't they have one guy drafted? I think it was Jamie Robinson. That was it. It was like, what happened? But, been kind of going through that cycle. I talked about the Noles earlier in the week with Niall Lawrence Stample, but, I'll spend a couple of minutes on that coming up. No question about it. It's great to have you with us. We are with you tonight up until the NFL draft, which begins at 8 o'clock.
1010XL.
Anybody hear that?
1010XL.
Fairly alarmed here. It's a
1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet have just received a special allocation of new vehicles directly from the factory. Not 10, not 20, but hundreds of new vehicles with special savings that haven't been seen in years. Every new vehicle available in your favorite color and option as far as the eye can see. Plus, get our exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty with every new car purchase. Hurry to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville before the best deals are gone.
The sun's out, the water's cool. It's a perfect day for boating.
What's that boat doing?
Perfect boating days can quickly turn into disasters when drugs and alcohol are involved. Don't let boating under the influence ruin your day. FWC officers have zero tolerance for impaired operators. If you're over the limit, you're under arrest. Learn more at myfwc.com. Brought to you by the FWC Division of Law Enforcement.
Hey sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. Look, we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino canceled because real life came calling. Well, MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. I love the live casino. The roulette is awesome. It's so easy and so much fun. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action is in your hands. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL, and a revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. So sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win. Only with MyBookie.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Valvoline Advanced can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $35.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Your cooling system isn't working. Maybe somebody showed up with a portable electronic device. Then they discussed with you what your options are. Maybe they gave you an estimate that seems like an awful lot of money. What's the smart thing to do? When the situation merits a second opinion, get a Mike Merritt opinion. Yes, the Mike Merritt Comfort Team shows up with hand tools. We've never been able to fix an air conditioning problem with a tablet. Mike Merritt has been the trusted name for more than 30 years because there's never any hocus pocus. The Merritt team will walk you through the diagnostic steps up close and personal and show you exactly what you need. And the Mike Merritt price is likely to be far less because there's never an overtime charge, and the Merritt team doesn't work on commission. So remember, when it comes to the health of your cooling system, a second opinion can only help, and a Mike Merritt opinion can save you money. Florida license CACO 50384.
QC Kinetics announces the arrival of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon with 2 decades of experience and extensive research in regenerative medicine.
But I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it, and at the same time I integrated clinical research that's resulted in several publications that are really directing the future of regenerative medicine. I was drawn to QC Kinetics after I reviewed their protocols, and everything they were doing is consistent with my own approach.
Today, Dr. Scheinkup leads the entire team of medical professionals at QC Kinetics, taking this exciting medical breakthrough to a whole new level.
What we are doing at QC Kinetics is transforming lives.
Get lasting joint pain relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
So much material, so many rumors. Someone calm down. Diana Rossini. He is all over the place tonight doing the Lord's work right here on the as we preview the NFL draft. How's our poll looking over there, JJ? I'm crying out loud. It's not too often. I think it's our first ever poll
people
on Into the Night.
People like T. Higgins, which, I mean, I'm not shocked by that. So which scenario lines up best in your opinion for the Jaguars? And this would be after the second round, after tomorrow night. So basically, it's a tie up top. T. Higgins has a barely a lead, but Arnold and A. Mitchell is just as many people want that scenario as they want T. Higgins. And there's certain people. What about Ayuk? We still have a chance if Baalke doesn't ruin it. Someone says, where do I write in Bowers? But yeah, the loser right now is Thomas and Jenkins.
Okay. Interesting, because Brian Thomas Jr., man, I think a lot of people believe that if they stand put at 17, that is where they go. If those top corners are gone, if Arnold and Mitchell are gone, getting another Mitchell, or it should be Chris Jenkins would be the second part of that equation, the very talented defensive tackle out of Michigan. This a little bit long when he goes on and say it's too early to grade draft classes, and I don't know if we talked about this on air or not, with the tight end and the top part of the class outside of Anton Harrison. And you're exactly right, but let me specify this. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what JJ says. It matters what you hear. And whenever I talk about last year's draft class, I'm quick to say, give it time to see what will happen in year 2. The difference is this. When we get to the draft, it's always about value. It's very rarely about need, which is a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of hogwash. It's always about need, okay? There's something scientific or something that I'll never know. And I'll give credit to Baalke. He actually came out last Thursday and said that we have some obvious needs. You almost never hear that word mentioned by the general manager, even though the reporter is going to ask it and ask it and ask it and ask it. How many times that we have previewed this draft have I had guests on? I've had conversations with JJ. I've had conversations on it where you have responded, where I have openly wondered, everything equal as far as talent, what are the most important positions after quarterback? It's left tackle. It's pass rush end. You can argue that. Used to be corner at 4. His corner moved up. Is right tackle. Look at Sewell's deal yesterday. The highest paid tackle, highest paid offensive lineman in football. He's a right tackle. Is it, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not a running back. Okay? I'll tell you what it's not. It's not a tight end. Unless you're getting a Bowers and unless you're getting someone that is just spectacular. I mean, tight ends and running backs and safeties and offensive guards, they are way, 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 way down. And why I thought it was a draft class last year that showed somewhere in between arrogance and ignorance is you went out and got a tight end and a running back with your second and third round pick, where we spent all off season doing what? Well, I, for one, always yell about the offensive line. They got Anton Harrison. Frankly, it wasn't enough. What about a pass rusher? All last year, pass rush, pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. They waited to the 5th round to get an undersized pass rusher. That's my problem. They got too clever. They got too smart. Doesn't mean that those guys won't end up being good football players. Again, doesn't matter what I say. It matters what you hear. They can't make that same mistake this year. They can't use those picks 2 through 5 and get nothing out of them. You can't win. Okay? And that's on Baalke, but this franchise is still hemorrhaging from the just worst draft class that this franchise has ever had in 2020. I mean, the only one who remains from 2020 is Devon Hamilton, right? I mean, look at this thing. How do you recover from this? C.J. Henderson, K'Lavon Chason, Laviska Shenault, Devon Hamilton, Ben Barch, Josiah Scott, Shaq Quarterman, Daniel Thomas, Colin Johnson, Jake Luton, Tyrod. How do you recover from that? You had 2 first-round picks. You had picks 9, 20, 42, and 73. And it produced C.J. Henderson, K'Lavon Chason, Laviska Shenault Jr., Devon Hamilton. I want to move on to tonight, but I'm just saying that it's a shock they made it to the playoffs in 2 years later in 2022. It really is. But it's the same thing applies as last year. If you're going to make what is described as I would say kind of fringe picks or picks where you believe you have guys who are already set at that position, at least do it in the ditch. At least do it on the offensive and defensive line, not a running back and tight end. That's my point. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. 7035, excuse me. Jags are taking a wide receiver. Baalke realized that if he can't find a way to get Trevor to the next level, he is out. I love it. The only thing I love more is an offensive line. Tom McManus on me last night has said this better than anyone that I know, and I say it respectfully. Trevor has the weapons. He does not have the protection. This football team can go out and win right now on Sunday with their weapons. Can this football team go out there right now and win with that offensive line? Can they run the ball? You watched them. I watched them. They were the coward of the county against Tennessee. They turned the other cheek on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. Gutless, yellow, uncalled for. You need 1 yard. And they were running the old 39 periwinkle. They were, but what in God's name, what were they doing? You need a yard. Man up and pick up a yard. And they walked it back. Again, they get paid millions. I hope they're right. This ain't, oh, Ballou needs to be right. I hope they fit. No, I want to see you people happy. Kidding me? They're better weaponry around Trevor than they are protecting Trevor. So, all along, I go offensive line. I'd be shocked if they do. But I have no problem getting a wide receiver. You know, my gut tells me, and I'm out on a limb here, but my gut tells me they're going to draft the best available corner. I think they'd be happiest by getting Quinion Mitchell. That's my guess. He appears to be the most well-rounded corner in this draft class. A very physical guy, 20 reps of 225, 6 foot 195, in a 4.33, 38-inch vertical. Shut down everyone at the Senior Bowl. Yeah, the lack of competition on Saturday in his career is somewhat alarming because he did not play in a Power 5 conference. There's some talk that he's not a great cover man-to-man corner. That may scare you. And that would kind of be perfect, right? Jacksonville, go ahead and pick a guy who hasn't done it that way before. You know, I can see it right now. The first question to Quinion Mitchell. Yeah, Quinion, you've never played man before. You're going to be asked to be the main man cover now under Ryan Nielsen. I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? I mean, get a guy and ask him to do something he's never, but they're not going to do it every play. That's nonsense. I don't care what the numbers said. Even Baalke. Remember when Baalke, everyone kind of looked at him and they're like, what's he talking about? He says it's really not man-to-man. It's also kind of zone. Baalke was actually right the way he described that. This was 18 days after the end of the season when he discussed it. I think it was. Or maybe it was after the hiring of Ryan Nielsen. That was it.
Yeah.
It wasn't 18 days. It was after the hiring of Nielsen. We've heard from Baalke 4 times. Wow. It's record-setting. Usually every time we hear from Baalke, like the Kardashians gone through about 6, 7, 8 different dudes. That hasn't been the case so far this offseason. Been 4 times we've already heard from him, and I love it. But that'd be my guess. Again, they didn't. Trent didn't reach out to me. I would go offensive line. And I know you hate it. I know you people hate it. I know. Shut up, Ballou. You know, they got Ezra. They got Ezra Cleveland. They got Cam back. Oh, Cam's this, Cam's that. Yeah. Yeah. Paying Cam $19 million more than they're paying Walker Little. And they screwed over Walker Little. $19 million more. For what? For what? $19 million. Think of what this organization could do with $19 million. Cam Robinson's $19 million better than Walker Little. That's what they're paying him. And the production's better? It's not. It's not. Not even close. Yada, 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 yeah. Why not Brian Murphy? You know what? I have no problem at all with doing anything on the offensive and defensive line. I almost put Byron Murphy on our list. It feels like if they don't go wide receiver or corner at 17, the position they would go is a highly regarded position. That's a pass rush end. I've seen Verse there quite a bit. Verse will be the first Florida State Seminole selected. He'll go in the first round tonight. I think he'll be the only first rounder to go. I think you'll see 2 in the second round with Keon Coleman, Trey Benson, and a third. I think Braden Fisk goes. So I think you get 3 Seminoles in the second round. You get quite a few on Saturday as well. I think they're going to end up having 10 to 11 guys drafted. It's Renardo Green's going to get drafted. Johnny Wilson's going to get drafted, probably 3rd, 4th round guys. Jones is going to get drafted, probably in the 4th or 5th round. Lovett around that time is going to get selected. Jaheim Bell, probably a little bit, should have mentioned his name. I don't have anything in front of me. Should have mentioned him before a couple of those other players. Probably will go in the, 4th round. What I'm really interested to see is if those 2 linebackers go. Great players on Saturday. They don't win those games last year without Bethune and Kalen DeLoach. They don't beat Clemson without that play with Kalen DeLoach. Akeem Dent. They could. They could end up having 11 players selected. Great year for Florida State. But it feels like if they don't go wide receiver or corner, there's been a little bit of talk of a rush end perhaps being there for Jacksonville. Here's one that you haven't heard almost anything about. What if Jacksonville elected to trade down? Right? And I'm not talking about, a Bill Belichick trading out of the first round. And the reason why Belichick did that is because he was always drafted in the 30s, 31, 32. But what if Jacksonville, and I don't have the draft order in front of me either, but what if it was 17 and all of a sudden, a team offers more capital and Trent Baalke loves to trade down. What if all of a sudden you're going from 17 to the early 20s? But you can pick up an additional really good pick. If they believe their board is going to stay true to what they have. See, we don't know their tiers. We don't know if there's a guy right around 17 that they just absolutely have to have. And my guess there would be it's a corner. If they really have Arnold graded very high, or if they have Mitchell graded very high, and all of a sudden, Indy's there at 15, and you're getting to pick 13, 14. Maybe the best case scenario would be if Indianapolis moved up. There's talk that they're interested in Brock Bowers. Todd McShay said that Jacksonville is interested in Brock Bowers. They could be. I don't see it. I'm hoping that is just somewhat of a smokescreen to maybe create a little bit more juice to force Indy to maybe have to up that ante. But that'd probably be best to get Indy out of 15, have them move up. Let's say they moved up to 9, 10, or 11. Because I know what's going to run through your veins tonight and what's going to raise your blood pressure tonight is this draft moves forward. And again, we're going to have a record-setting offensive class tonight. You can have 3 straight quarterbacks. You could have 4 if a team deals with Arizona. You could have 10 straight offensive players tonight, if not 9 out of 10. You can have 10 offensive linemen, at least 5 wide receivers, could have 6 or 7, could have 5 quarterbacks, possibly 6. A record-setting year for offensive players out of 32 selections. The record's 19. It's going to be north of 20. So if all of this is happening, and the defensive players are still on the board, I know that you're going to be looking at Indy 2 spots ahead of you, and you're going to say, Dad, gummit, they're going to take the guy that you want. I can feel it. That's your pressure. So, yeah, to give up more and move up, if Indy makes that move, I think that's going to be okay. I can understand the feedback. It's going to be, why was Ballard so aggressive? Why wasn't Baalke aggressive? And I know that part's going to happen as well. I mean, that's kind of par for the course. The 54-34 just asked the most obvious question that I have received in 32 years of doing this, and the answer is yes. Are you ready for the question?
Please.
Ballou, do you think ESPN will go to a commercial break before the Jaguars pick? Everyone picks on us. Can't they just leave us alone once? Jaguars are on the clock. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. We got much more to do with you tonight as well until 8.
Serving Jags fans since 2007. This is 1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Ballou for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ChinatrydC.com.
Former Jaguars corner and first-year Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows K-12 head football coach Aaron Beasley here. Come out to celebrate the grand opening of our new track and football field. Two-time Super Bowl winning coach Gerald Ingram, former NFL kicker Mike Hollis, and other former NFL athletes are excited to see you there. Food trucks, bounce houses, DJ Barracuda, raffles, and giveaways. Free event this Saturday from 11 to 2. Full details at baymeadowscharter.org. Join me, Aaron Beasley, and my friends this Saturday.
It's kind of like his own private locker, and you're his guest.
Every time we talk, I'm reinvigorated by my love of the game.
Hayes Carline here. Find my blog at 1010xl.com.
Hayes Blog is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
What's spelled funny but smells great? A Kuhn Flowers floral arrangement. Kuhn Flowers. The name is synonymous with excellence for over 75 years. High Flying Jacko here for your next floral purchase. Call on Kuhn Flowers.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Bank in the 2023 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey sports fans, this is Hayes Carline from MyBookie. Look, we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino canceled because real life came calling. Well, MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. I love the live casino. The roulette is awesome. It's so easy and so much fun. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action is in your hands. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL, and a revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. So sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win. Only with MyBookie.
Your cooling system isn't working. Maybe somebody showed up with a portable electronic device. Then they discussed with you what your options are. Maybe they gave you an estimate that seems like an awful lot of money. What's the smart thing to do? When the situation merits a second opinion, get a Mike Merritt opinion. Yes, the Mike Merritt Comfort Team shows up with hand tools. We've never been able to fix an air conditioning problem with a tablet. Mike Merritt has been the trusted name for more than 30 years because there's never any hocus pocus. The Merritt team will walk you through the diagnostic steps up close and personal and show you exactly what you need. And the Mike Merritt price is likely to be far less because there's never an overtime charge, and the Merritt team doesn't work on commission. So remember, when it comes to the health of your cooling system, a second opinion can only help, and a Mike Merritt opinion can save you money. Florida license CACO 50384.
Men suffering from ED or PE, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. You'll even get a gift that enhances performance in the bedroom. Call 904-664-8217.
Did you know that a metal roof from Prime Roofing has the highest wind and impact ratings available? If you want a stronger roof, think metal. Think Prime Roofing. Learn more at primeroofingfl.com. primeroofingfl.com.
Life isn't the same without live music. Players Grill Mandarin has Samuel Sanders performing covers and original music this Saturday at 8 p.m. Jam out with this local singer-songwriter while enjoying tasty food everyone can enjoy. Players Grill Mandarin, where the neighborhood meets.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
On your way to the Blue Crab House, can't think of a better place to watch the National Football League draft. Can't think of a better place to watch Bill Belichick interview Roger Goodell. Bill Belichick interviewing Roger Goodell. That is happening right now. Blue Crab House. Make sure you visit them. Open every day but Monday, right off of Jointed Creek Road. They're on, right off of San Jose on Jointed Creek Road. Are you kidding me? Bill Belichick interviewing Roger Goodell?
Yes, I just have a screenshot of it. I don't know if the interview is live right now or if it's going to air later. But, yeah, if you don't know, Belichick is doing the draft coverage with Pat McAfee. I've already seen, leaked pictures of him, breaking down the draft board for Pat. And now I see a picture of him sitting down with a one-on-one interview with the commissioner of the National Football League, his arch nemesis, Roger Goodell.
There's so much I want to say right now, but this is a Jacksonville-based audience. I mean, this is awesome.
Yes.
This is spectacular. If there's if you were to rank in order the guy who treated the media outside of Bobby Knight, and Bobby Knight at times had charisma, had a style. Bill Belichick was awful. Now, Patriot fans loved him for it. He had a cult following, but he was awful to the media. I felt this way about when Tom Coughlin was out for a year. And when Coughlin got fired here before he went to New York, he spent a year in the media or spent some time. I don't know if it was after the regular season or whatever it was, but it was all of a sudden, it's what? Tom Coughlin's doing the media?
I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah. I might have been in Chicago when that happened. It was a very short period of time. I don't know if it was in between a firing and a rehiring or if he actually had a year off. I would have to look back at his resume again. But there's certain folks that you're just you've got to be kidding me. You hear this a lot with players who are jackasses, like the Sharps. Sterling Sharp, Shannon Sharp. They were just awful human beings. How do they get jobs as members of the media? Well, same applies here for Belichick. I mean, I'll go back and listen. I'm intrigued by it. But it's just wow, man, there's so many others who would be better at it. I don't want to say the word more qualified because Belichick is certainly qualified for it. But, guys that you would think would enjoy it a little bit more, that would work at it a little bit more. I mean, you just throw a huge bone to this guy. And again, I love Belichick.
Yeah, but if you're a director, producer, or somebody like this, you don't care about that. This is gold right here. You have the guy who went at war with the commissioner for years, and now you have the opportunity to have them sit down for a one-on-one. Yeah, I don't care about this guy who went to journalism school, on the payroll. Let's get Belly out there.
There's no doubt. You could have the most qualified journalist in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, when's the last time Roger Goodell has ever told the truth, or the last time Roger Goodell has ever told us something that we're what? Outside of, that unforgivable stuff on CTE and how the concussions only went up because doctors now have more advanced equipment.
And how actually with a 17-game schedule, there's less injuries.
And the less concussion. Yeah. That was the best. All right, let's get to our what do you have for us?
So I have two. So we told you about the cons and how they were on location for the AEW show on the 24th last night. Well, they might be there again because AEW is still in town. They will be at Daly's Place this Saturday. So AEW Collision and Rampage, I have 2 tickets for April 27th show at Daly's Place.
All you got to do is answer this question. No cheaters. If you can tell JJ the answer to this question, you are going. I'm going to give you a lot of hints. Who is the heaviest player ever selected by the Jacksonville Jaguars? He's a lineman. No kidding, Ballou. Defensively. And he also played around here for quite a bit. I'm not going to give you a trick question about a guy that was snatched up and hung around through camp and maybe played a couple of games and was cut. No, this was a man who played for a significant amount of time. The heaviest Jacksonville Jaguar player ever drafted, okay? 641-1010, you get an opportunity to tell JJ, and you can win a couple of tickets. Do we have to take another break, or are we good?
Yeah, one more.
We got to take one more. Man, I don't want to. I'm having so much fun here tonight. Why don't we do that? Why don't we take our final one of the night? Because we've been really extending everything here and got to get caught up. But it has been a blast, and the participation from you has been absolutely spectacular. Let me see if I can get the results of our latest poll as JJ is getting ready to take these phone calls, again, asking for the heaviest player ever selected by the Jags. And, again, it was a defensive player, and it's certainly a guy who's played quite a bit around here. All right, right now, 36% are saying T. Higgins straight up. The question was, over the next 2 nights, what would be the best-case scenario? The Thomas Jenkins, well, that's dead last. It actually goes T. Higgins 1, the Terrian Arnold Mitchell combination, Arnold the DB, Mitchell the wide receiver, is second at 33%. Third place at 22% is Quinion Mitchell and Keon Coleman. And then coming in way, way, way down at only 9% is the combination of Thomas Jr., the wide receiver out of LSU, and Jenkins, Chris Jenkins, the defensive tackle out of Michigan. You can still vote. Just go to Twitter, 1010XL, 92.5 FM, and submit your vote. All right, when we come back, we'll put our final touches on this one. My final thoughts, JJ's final thoughts on the draft tonight. We can already hear what is going on down at the bank. It sounds loud. Sounds like it's going to be a great night for the Jaguars to try to go out and become a better football team. We'll take you up until 8, and then at that time, the NFL draft officially is underway.
What are the many ways to experience 1010XL?
Why don't we just take it from the top?
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, at 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet have just received a special allocation of new vehicles directly from the factory. Not 10, not 20, but hundreds of new vehicles with special savings that haven't been seen in years. Every new vehicle available in your favorite color and option as far as the eye can see. Plus, get our exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty with every new car purchase. Hurry to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville before the best deals are gone.
This is the sound of real people across Florida betting on sports. It's the sound of winning your bet, only on Hard Rock Bet. And if your first bet doesn't win, you get up to $100 back to try again. Hard Rock Bet is Florida's only legal sports book. Your home for betting hoops for any sport you choose. Download Hard Rock Bet now and get 2 shots at your first bet. Win, or you'll get up to $100 back as a bonus bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to play. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Breaking news, Jacksonville. Play It Again Sports is back. We are proud to be opening a brand new store on Merrill Road, but we need your help. We are currently stocking up and we need your gently used sports and fitness equipment. Play It Again Sports offers cash on the spot for all your used gear. We buy baseball, softball, football, hockey, lacrosse, golf, water sports. You name it, we buy it. Turn that gear into cash at Play It Again Sports Jacksonville on Merrill Road near 295 in the Merrill Station Shopping Plaza.
Hey, it's Tony from Tony D's Pizza. If you love our pizza and pasta dishes, let us cater an event for you. Family function or office parties, we can deliver you an amazing Italian meal. Remember, it's not just pizza at Tony D's. Bay Meadows in 295.
Add an ace to your Tuesday morning.
The 3rd ace in 4 days.
Brunch with a tour.
Tour news, tips, and inside info.
Brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation and Art of Natural Stone.
8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Bueller Air Conditioning presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, a corporate management manager from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Les Blankston.
Yeah, hi, Bob.
That is a remarkably beige suit there, Les. Tell us, why are you on the show?
Well, I just replaced my old air conditioner with a new one from Bueller, and I'm just so comfortable these days. I wondered, am I cool now?
Let's find out, Les. Go ahead and spin the wheel.
That's right, Les. By upgrading your old AC to a more energy-efficient model from Bueller Air Conditioning, you'll save money, save energy, and proudly show your family that you are cool.
Ooh, do you think I should get a mohawk?
Pace yourself, Les.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loans, and personal loans. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally, hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. So call now, 904-999-1508, 904-999-1508, or go to loanpronto.com. NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. A letter in your mailbox says you could save money bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. You saw it after your teenager backed the car into the mailbox. Dumb news. A new mailbox, basically a box on a stick, costs up to $400. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and go with paperless mail instead. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Catch Gators baseball all season long on 1010XL. Brought to you by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
EasyCater has everything you need to make food for work. Work. From ordering to reporting, we even keep your receipts all in one place, which means all you need to do is sit back and enjoy.
You're not having any lasagna?
All I can taste is hours of expense reports.
Relax, you used EasyCater. Enjoy the food, Ray.
Oh, no, thanks.
Enjoy it?
That's amazing.
Yes, Ray. It is amazing. 100,000 restaurants and everything you need to make food for work, work. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Congratulations to Dante. He is the winner to the tickets coming up on Saturday night. AEW in town. Speedy recovery. We're all wishing for Tony Khan, who was nearly paralyzed last night in the middle of the rain.
We should give the answer to the
4 against 1. Yes. Why don't you give it up?
Big John Henderson. A pretty easy one. One of the legends of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm guessing he was over 350.
Says here he was selected in 2002 at 335 pounds.
Oh, not quite.
Svelte.
Right. Yes.
First
rounder, right?
This guy's kind of calling out a play. What's that?
First rounder, correct?
Big John, was he first or second round in 2002?
He was a first round, 9th overall.
He
Jeez.
was. Yeah.
You don't see many tackles getting taken that high.
No. Those were a couple of my years that I was gone in Chicago. Okay, 2000. I went right after the playoff game in 2000. And then came back here before the start of the 2006 NFL draft, which is just amazing because I know I've been here since then, which is like 18-plus years. Mercedes Lewis was the top pick that year. And he was still
league,
playing.
right?
He played last year. I don't know. I don't believe he's been snatched up. I believe he's still a street free agent.
Yeah, he is, unfortunately. That might have been the end.
At this
39
particular
years
time.
old. Turns 40 in May.
Here we go. Here we go right now. 6121, some dating advice. Hey, Rick, ex-Jags football player at a watering hole, 30-year Jags fan, is on his first date trying to impress his date. Does he go up and try to bother Tommy McManus? Hell yeah. And I think McManus is doing a podcast or something. Go right up and interrupt him. Yeah. I had Tommy Mac on last night. It's like that old Don Rickles bit with Johnny Carson, where Frank Sinatra's there with Johnny Carson and Don Rickles, and Rickles does this big bit where I guess the girl's powdering her nose. He goes up to Frank Sinatra's table and says, "Frank, you do me a favor, try to impress this girl. Will you come on by and say hello to me when you're done?" Frank's like, Sure. I'm finishing up. I'll be there in a minute." So they're having dinner. Frank Sinatra gets up, walks over to Don Rickles and his date, says, "Don, how you doing? What's going on?" And Don Rickles looks at Frank Sinatra and says, "Frank, I'm having dinner here. Can't you leave me alone?" One of the greatest. I mean, back when, can you imagine there was actually a time where late night didn't waste all of their time ripping on politics and trying to divide our country?
Crazy.
They actually made people laugh. It was all about entertainment.
When did that change? I guess with Trump. I mean, even with Leno and Letterman, you didn't get any of that.
I don't know, but it's such a shame because the best thing that anyone can do is laugh. The moment that you are laughing, whether it's for 3 seconds or 10 seconds, you seem to forget about everything else in the world and just roll through that laughter. That's why I haven't watched late night anything. And I can't remember the last time. It's more and more crap, man.
You don't tape the Colbert Show every night?
Sadly, I don't. All right. We got about, 90 seconds to go?
Yeah, about 2 minutes.
What's going to happen? You go first.
I think that they're just going to take the kid from Toledo, and I wouldn't hate that move. I think they need a cornerback. All the trade talk, I would love it. It would make things interesting if they went up and got one of those 3 receivers. But I just don't think Baalke's going to do it. I hope he does. I would love to see Neighbors on the Jags next year. That would be sick.
And that has picked up some steam. It really has. The Todd McShay rumor is interesting. That Jacksonville's also considering moving up with Indianapolis to get Brock Bowers. If they trade and move up, I'm going to be all for it because they're going for it. And when you go for it, you got to give a lot of respect to a team that is trying to make moves to win. For the record, I would go offensive line. The highest ranked offensive lineman that they have, that is where I would go. And this is the 4th consecutive year I have said that. Or outside of Trevor Lawrence. I would go offensive line. I happen to think they are going to take the highest ranked corner on their board. So either be Arnold or Quinion Mitchell. One of those two. We'll find out. Hey, tomorrow night we're here to review it, and the draft starts at 7 tomorrow night. That means we'll be here for the second round. How about that? Going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. Folks, if you're going downtown, enjoy yourself. Please drive safe. Keep it right here. The entire draft starts in just a couple of minutes. Thank you to JJ LaSelva. My name is Rick Ballou. Enjoy the draft. We'll talk with you tomorrow night right here at 6 o'clock.